Unfortunately, race labs are giving us a bit of an issue right now, so you may not see it. But it doesn't matter. We're going green anyway. Green flag in the air. First race of the night set to roll. As they fly by the start-finish line for the first time and into turn number 1, Jay takes an early lead away from Pier Paolo. All clean so far through the first 2 corners. That's Craig that runs in third. Right behind them is Adam, who runs in fourth. And then Aiden rounds up the top 5. Great run for him so far. That was close right there. That heading up into turn 2. John trying to make the outside work, couldn't quite get it rotated. Kyle slots in right behind him. In 7th spot, and David Butcher comes along in 8th spot. So back up front, let's go to Jay as they're side by side for 3rd spot. Here comes Adam up the inside. Couldn't quite get there. Contact though, I think Pier Paolo went a bit wide. Now they're scrambling all over the place. I saw Kyle off. It looked like Craig went off as well. Yeah, he's down to 6th. Kyle down to 8th and to the back of the field. So far, so good from Jay as he leads the way. With Adam up into 2nd place, he's come on the throttle. As you saw it right there, Jay just went wide at the exit of the corner. And Adam's got a run on him. Does he take it? Jay fades to the inside. At turn 1. Around the outside, I think Jay braked himself. There goes Adam around the tops. Around the outside and to the lead. Great stuff right there. As I just had Christian come into the room with us. Christian, what do you think the racing is going to be, as we've seen it so far, pretty crazy as Pier Paolo takes 2nd away from Jay?
It's going to be a crazy race. There's a lot of passing opportunities with long straightaways, so it'll be interesting.
We head down up into turn 3, I actually should say. Turn 2 was the slight left-hander there. Now up through turn 3. Pier Paolo on a mission to keep his winning streak alive. Now can he hunt down Adam, who didn't quite make Group 1 this weekend. How about John right now, running up in the 4th spot, having a great run, hanging in there with the top 3 right now. Kyle's made up a few spots. He's back up into 5th. Craig back behind him in 6th. Aiden's gone a little bit back to 7th. I think Pier Paolo was a bit wide there out of turn 4. Again, 9 corners on this Red Bull Ring circuit as Adam was a bit wide right there. He lost a ton of momentum. Here comes Pier Paolo to the bumper. Couldn't get him there. Not close enough, at least yet. As we continue to watch. So now the top 3 right within distance of each other. John's lost a little bit this time around. He's hoping for the battle a little bit. He hasn't really had the experience that these 3 guys have had battling for the lead. We apologize there for not having program on. Now we got it on. Now all the viewers can see. Back into turn 1. Adam still leads the way. Let's see if Jay can get a run here. And Christian, now that we have a track like this with the straightaways, do you think the drafting will be any more effective, or has it just really not been the case with this car from the first 2 races?
Not necessarily drafting, but let's say a driver messes up their corner. It emphasizes that amount they can gain on that straightaway since you have such a long time to gain that back.
Agreed there. And especially with the exits of these corners being sharp after a straightaway, you really want that extra oomph getting out of the corner.
And you can see here with Adam, Pier Paolo, and Jay, they're all able to keep within like a second of each other, so it's interesting.
Yeah, I agree. As we rocket around turn 5, I believe this is.
One thing about this track, you really have to demolish the curbs. On entry, exit, and even midway through the corner, you have to be riding those curbs the entire time. So it's interesting to see what lines Travis did.
Agreed. As you just saw it right there, Pierre Paolo actually took a bit too much and got loose. He almost hit the gravel coming through. That was turn 8. As they head up the short chute, now down into turn 9. And into turn 10, final corner. And again, I think track limits will also be pretty important here. You don't want to have that black flag pop up on your screen because then you have to completely get out of the gas.
It'll be very surprising if a driver can get 2 laps.
So far, they've kept it pretty clean. Adam's starting to just inch away from these two now. As John and Kyle come down in 4th and 5th spot, and then there's a bit of a gap, actually. Back from Kyle. Let's go to Kyle. Or not. Out of turn 3, down this second back straightaway that we got now. Pierre Paolo's starting to get a bit closer, but he's just not quite there yet. Well, he really threw it in there hard. And it almost propelled him off the track. Let's go a little bit further back in the field. Here's Aiden. I believe he runs now in 7th or 8th, but he's lost a lot of time. I'm not sure if he made a mistake somewhere along the line. As he does run in 7th spot. You can see it on the number, the digital number there on the windows of the car. I kind of lost touch with all the other cars. There's Craig up a bit ahead of him there in 6th spot. Back up front. Adam still leads the way, and he's put a bit more of a cushion in between himself and Pierre Paolo. Back up to turn 1. It'll be interesting to see if these guys can run him back down. It's almost like in the first half of the lap, Pierre Paolo gains and gains, and then as the second half of the lap comes around, Adam's just able to pull away. I talked to Jay just before this race, and he said he wants to keep his pace up throughout the whole race, not make any mistakes at the start, and put the hammer down as the second half of the race goes on. So far, he's done a pretty good job of that, sitting right here in the top 3 with the leader in spitting distance. And now, Christian, I would ask you on this track, even a lot of these sharp corners, where would you say would be the best place to make an overtake?
Like we saw there, basically you want to wait for the driver to make the mistake for you. Here, it's very easy when you...
Oh, he tried it there. Adam got loose. I think he's going to stick the... Pierre Paolo's going to stick the nose there. Yup, Adam cuts him down on the exit. And Pierre Paolo did not... Oh, boy, he got offline big time there, heading up into turn 7. Now through turn 8, Adam is not letting this one be easy, and now all 3 of them get even more closer together. Pierre Paolo snaked it to the right there, making sure Jay didn't try anything. Hard on the brakes. Pierre Paolo sideways. You can tell how hard he's driving right now. But again, Adam's just able to get away out of turn 10. They're just not able to beat him through there. That's one of the most important corners on the track because it'll carry your momentum up through here. And you can see a bit of a line difference with Adam and Pierre Paolo straddling the curbs, whereas Jay is not. And that cost him some time out of turn 1. So now, again, you run the risk of completely losing control of your car when you do that, but you see a lot of the drivers here and in real life as well put as much tire over the curb as possible.
If you don't use that curb, it really tightens up the corner more than it should be, which means your mid-corner speed is much lower, which inevitably will ruin your exit.
I agree. As you just saw it right there, Adam did not get out of 3 at all. Here comes Pierre Paolo. He's looking. Does Adam defend or does Pierre Paolo go to the bottom here? He's going to try it. Pierre Paolo to the inside. They touch. Oh, Pierre Paolo goes around. Adam turned him around, and Jay goes right through on both of them. Oh, man, that just didn't quite work. I don't know if Adam was trying to tuck back in line behind him, or he's expecting Pierre Paolo to hit the gas early, but that was pretty ugly right there. And in the end, Jay says, thank you very much. It just fell right into his hands. But it's not over. Pierre Paolo may be out of the equation, but Adam's still right hanging in there. Oh, look out. John just made a mistake, and Pierre Paolo just completely doored him to get back onto the podium. I'm not sure what happened there. I think John just completely made a mistake going through turn 7, and Pierre Paolo bulled his way back through. And here comes Kyle back into the fray. He's not about to let this one slip away from him either. Back onto the front straightaway. He goes to the inside of John and takes away the 4th spot. So great comeback after almost being in last at one point. John fires it back up the inside of turn 1. They both run it wide. Well, John kept it on. Kyle didn't, and he used quite a bit. He used a lot of track to gain an advantage there. Let's see if any track limits come into play. Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's fine through this one. So he ends up taking that spot away from John, but still kudos to him from coming way back and making a dive bomb move that we've barely seen a whisper of that from him all season or any last season. So that's showing that he's gotten quite the more comfortable with this car. As we go back to the lead, Adam's still trying to trail Jay, but I think Jay's starting to pull away a little bit now. Whoa, look out. They were both a bit offline right there. Adam trying a bit of a different line here, but it just doesn't look like it was working. He got way out wide. You saw him have to completely crank the wheel, and that killed his exit speed. Back down to turn 9, and we kind of unfortunately don't know without any overlays when this race is going to end. So we'll just kind of keep it. You may see some analytics pop up every now and then. Adam using every bit of the track he can right there to try and close this gap back down. It's about 15 minutes down, so we're getting into the final quarter of this race. Not much time left. I think the problem that Adam's having right now, you just saw it there. He completely overbraked turn 1, and Jay got way more away from him.
That might have been a time penalty. You saw there at the last corner of the last lap, he went completely wide, which can result in a black flag, which means a time penalty, and he might have had to serve that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we didn't see it for Kyle, at least not at all, when he did it turn 1, but there you saw Adam get real far out wide, and that very well could have been it. He could have left it until the braking zone instead of trying to pedal the throttle. But that's completely lost him a bit more time, and now he's about just under 2 seconds back at Jay, and with no draft, that's going to be hard to make back up. Pierre Paolo's still holding strong, though, back there in 3rd.
If either of these top two make a mistake, Pierre Paolo is right there to make the
Exactly.
jump.
He's just hoping something happens between both of these guys now. So we focused on these guys for a little bit. Let's go a bit further back. I still think Kyle... Well, no, John's actually gotten back past him. So I don't know if Kyle made a mistake or he actually did end up getting a bit of a black flag and it was out. Allowed John to get back through. So these two fight it out for 4th spot and hoping that something happens ahead to get them onto the podium even. I'll tell you, Kyle's not going to let him have this one easy. He is right there through 7 and 8. Does he try to set up a move here at turn 9? John fades to the middle of the track. Kyle's not close enough. Drawn out a bit wide. Kyle to the inside at turn 10. And a beautiful block pass, and he gets back through and up into 4th place. Shades of Andrea Dovizioso and Marc Marquez's last lap here in 2019. Except those were on 2 wheels, not 4. Back to Adam, who continues to run in 2nd place. I just don't know if he's going to get there or he has enough time after that mistake. Looks like Jay's been able to step it up and done exactly what he said he wanted to do. As they come under the Make Your Day sign. And back into turn 5. Well, now, Christian, what do you do if you're just Jay and you're just trying to run this thing out? Do you really want to look in the mirror that much, or just you want to keep your head down and focus on your marks and not make any mistakes and not worry about what's behind you?
The contact Pierre Paolo and Adam had in the beginning really propelled Jay forward, as we can obviously tell. So I think if he can keep a consistent race, which he obviously has, it'll pay out for him.
Agreed. So we're just going to quickly check how much time we got left here. Looks like we're at the 18-minute mark, so this could be the final lap coming around next time for Jay, depending on how quick these guys get around. These guys normally run lap times about 1:42s, I would say, so this is going to be pretty close. But I think this might be the last lap, as Adam was again wide through turn 10. Just couldn't quite keep it straight. He's got that gap to try and make up. Pierre Paolo by the line, a few seconds behind this group. So they head through turn 1, now through turn 2. And up to the hard-braking turn 3. You can see the elevation of these corners. One of the best overtaking, if not the best overtaking spot on the track if you can outbrake somebody.
And especially through that corner, it's very, very tight. It's a very slow corner, so if you can get to the inside, you really can wash out your opponent wide.
But if you don't get them cleared, well, they're definitely going to still have the exit speed on you, and they're probably going to be able to drag race you down into turn 5. So far, so good. Half a lap to go, we believe. Through turn 6. And now through turn 7. Adam getting smaller and smaller in Jay's rearview mirror. Not much more to worry about as long as he can just hit his marks through these final couple corners. As we believe time's expired now. Across the line this time. Still not quite sure if that was the last lap or not. This might be the last lap now, because it does not look like they're slowing down at all. Adam trying to do his best to close in. Pierre Paolo just a little bit further back as he exits turn 1. There's not much he can do at this point other than just keep his head down and hit his marks. But that's got to be so frustrating, knowing that you were in a fight for the win and it unceremoniously got taken away from him. Oh, here we go. Kyle's off at turn 1. I think John may have just dive bombed him again and taken 4th away again. And here comes Craig. He's not too far behind these guys either. And I think I just did see one of the lights on the side of the track there. I'm pretty sure it was white, so I believe that does mean white flag, 1 lap to go. Back up front. Jay rolls out of turn 6 and down to turn 7. It's about the same gap back to Adam as it was last time. Through turn 9 and around turn 10. And back down the start-finish line. Is this the final lap? Do they take the checkered flag? I think I may have seen the flagman waving there. Not quite sure. Doesn't look like they're slowing down, so it looks like we're still going to go around one more time. Last lap round was a 1:42.6 for Jay, so not too bad at all for him. Adam has not been able to respond to his lap. It's kind of just stayed consistently the same here. I think Adam's maybe a little closer this time, but we're talking hundredths of a second, so it's not really making that much of a difference. Back through turn 9 once again. And through turn 10. Back by the start-finish line. And I believe that'll do it. Yep. So that was the last lap. So Jay does take the win. So very well done to him. He had a bit of luck go his way, but it worked out for him in the end. Adam, second. Pierre Paolo, third. John comes by the line in fourth. He does hold off Kyle. That's definitely his best race he's done.